Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural dinner of Bonei Olam of Flatbush. I don't know whether you realize it or not, but you are doing an unbelievable thing by having come here. You are now part of a movement that has taken foot in Klal Yisrael that is unprecedented and unparalleled. You can help someone else have a child.
At our graduation, because he had this terrific sense of humor, which we all enjoyed throughout the high school years, he was the valedictorian, and we all expected him to get up and be funny in his speech. Beezy got up and put away a valedictorian address that would be suited for a Rosh HaMemshala.
Beezy, I think deep down he was a performer, and he loved to perform. He loved to make people happy, and he had a unique talent that me and my friends, we never encountered.
He was giving an offer speech for one person, he was speaking at a Malka for someone else, or he was speaking at the Bonei Olam dinner. Even in the shower, he'd be going over lines, he'd rehearse the lines. He lived what he was going to say.
One day, Beezy used to go to work by bus. It was a pouring rain, and my wife, she sees Beezy at the bus stop, and he's dancing. He's dancing around and he's singing, so she stopped and she asks, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm practicing for one of my speeches, putting together the song and the lyrics," and he wasn't even aware that it was raining.
And he was so convincing, he was so good at it, that you were living along with him what he was saying.
What's so special about this dinner? Each and every one of you in this room have gone to many dinners. You've gone to many events, and you sit through droshes. But what's so special about tonight's dinner? I want to be very clear, because I know that many of you out there think you know what Bonei Olam does.
Throughout the years after high school, I would always hear about him. I was aware that he didn't get married right away. I was aware that he, even once he got married, didn't have children right away.
I think that Beezy channeled his energy to help other people be misameach in their simchas, and I personally think he always believed deep down that he would have kids also, and it was just a matter of time.
He had many challenges until he had his first child. Yet, whenever he got up to speak about this issue in public, he did not shy away from his past pain.
Do you know what it's like to Tzin Chanukah left year after year, alone, and watch as your family and friends are giving out Chanukah gelt or playing dreidel with their children, and you're just watching from a distance?
It struck me as the epitome of Hakaras HaTorah, which is the foundation of Judaism, that I know what it feels like to struggle to build a family, and now that Baruch Hashem, he was zoichet to have a family, he wants to help other people experiencing the same struggle.
Do you know what people say to a childless couple? Do you realize what people say to a childless couple? I happen to know, because I've been there. You know what you say? This is what you say. You say nothing. Tonight, we have gathered here in this hall to tell those childless couples that we are all here with you, that we really, really feel your pain. And so in Flatbush, in something unparalleled, 76 shuls got together and agreed on something. 2 shuls can't agree on the same rav, but 76 shuls agreed on something.
He was a klal mensch all the time. It wasn't just this little shul in Flatbush. He raised money in other shuls. He gave shiurim in other shuls.
My son actually had a learning seder in the shul where he gave the daf yomi, and he would come back to me and report that he would overhear Bizi's shir and the beauty of his shir and how clear he was.
For most of the day, he was doing law, but he always said that that's not something that is self-fulfilling. That's what prompted him to learn daf yomi and to give the daf yomi shir.
Bizi and I were together in Columbia Law School from 1983 to 1985. He made himself shine in his performance, but without in any way compromising his beliefs and his Yiddishkeit.
Well, Bizi and I were similar in that we both worked for big Wall Street type law firms. He had the ability, when he was in Manhattan at the law firm, he was all in. And then when he came home, that was done. He was all in, giving shir and giving the daf and learning and being part of the firm community.
You know, even let's say on Yom Kippur, after the long davening, after Shacharis and Musaf, you saw in Shul, there was a person giving shir. Who was that person? That was Bizi Weiss.
How is it? You know, other civilizations have had grand...
It wasn't something just merely that he loved to learn Torah, but he lived Torah.
These are all my father's Pasha notes that he collected over the years. Every Pasha has its own folder, and he would prepare them for Shabbos, and then he would bring them to the table, and he'd always just have the perfect var for that Pasha, for the moment, whatever was going on. No matter how great you are, if you can't pass it on to your children, then all you have is insignificant. My father never spoke about how we have to always be giving back to the klal, giving back to the community. He led by his actions. That was his way of teaching us how much he did for others, how much he did for the whole klal.
The way I knew him through the prism of Bonei Olam was about chesed. And that was an example for all of us. How to live a successful life, how to be in the business world, but still dedicate your real resources, your personal talents, to a cause, and understand what the main important things in life are.
We both studied under the tutelage of Rav Palm, who drilled in us the obligation to give back and do as much as you can on behalf of the community. And Bizi took that very much to heart.
He was a person who inspired without trying hard to inspire. He did it by force of personality. He did it by whom he was.
It's a Gemara in Brachas and Daf Lamed Beis. The Gemara says that although all the gates are closed in Shemayim, Sharei Demois Lo Ninalu, the gates of tears are not closed. So they once asked an Odom Godel, if the gates of tears are never closed, then why did you bother to make gates?
Bizi is one person which I have met in my entire career, and I have met people all over the world, thousands of Askonim and Rabbanim. Bizi is one person which I can see that I don't think we'll ever find a replacement close to him. The wisdom and how to understand from the question what the next question is going to be.
Many people in Flatbush have causes that are dear to their hearts, and it doesn't necessarily bring many others to follow. Bizi's magical qualities was such that it attracted people to the causes that he held dear.
Everyone in the room wanted to be Bizi. And if you had an idea and you mentioned it, Bizi made you feel like $1 million. Bizi listened to you with those bright eyes.
So the Odom Godel said, because sometimes those gates will close. When? The Sharei Demos will close if you are crying, when instead of crying, you should be acting.
My friend once asked me to speak at his Afrif. So I prepared a whole speech, and I went into my father's office to run it by him. So as I was saying it over, my father stopped me and said, Danny, you're cutting corners over here, you're beating around the bush, you could do much better. And he explained to me, Danny, if someone else asks you to do something for them, so you have to do your utmost to fulfill the expectation, to do the best that you could do.
Bizi had a heart of gold and loved people, and loved helping people. The reason he was so funny is because he enjoyed so much when someone laughed.
He realized that if the Rebbeinu Shalom gave him such a gift, how he's able to connect with people and inspire them and elevate them, it's something that he can't retain for himself, but rather it's something to give over to others.
For a childless couple living in the Frum community 25 years ago, 125 years ago, 1,025 years ago, the appropriate response was to feel terrible, to feel zerbrochen, and to cry for them. Today, with the advances in medicine, especially in reproductive technology, the Rebbeinu Shalom doesn't want to see your tears. The Rebbeinu Shalom wants to see your toil. Tonight, we're not here to cry. We're here to care, and we're here to contribute. Wir dürfen tun. Der Eibishter wird auftun. But we have got to do.